into one crucial topic. Before I introduce our panelists for today, let me give you a hint officially of what we shall be talking about throughout this program. Our conversations for today shall focus or shall linger around the theme demystifying the ideology that the African youth is unempowered, unemployed, poor, and frustrated. Of course, today we aim to change that narrative and debunk that misconception and to deny the conception that the African youth is unempowered, unemployed, poor, and frustrated. And we're doing so with the topic African youth empowerment opportunities at home and abroad. What must we do now? African youth empowerment opportunities at home and abroad. What must you do? And of course, I will not be telling you what you must do. My panelists and guests who are here in the house will tell you what you must do. And I will introduce them to you right about now. Starting first with the regular face, that if you're a fervent viewer of Excellence Impact, then surely you must have seen his face time without number. And when he comes here, he dishes out a whole lot of knowledge and is very knowledgeable in the spheres of empowerment, economic stability, and all of that. The person I'm about to present to you right now is an ingenious person we have right here in Buea and Cameroon, a huge asset to Cameroon. He is a business and leadership development expert and consultant, and of course he is a modern nation builder, and he is enthusiastic about seeing the African youth achieve or grab the highest of their potentials. I'm talking about the one and only Mr. Musoke Lucas Lyonga. Good morning to you, Mr. Musoke.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that introduction. And I wish to say that we are here to actually talk to the young Africans, and not just young Africans, the women and the men. Our interest is the African community. Thank you.
Of course, we are inclusive. We are including both the women and men in our conversations, and even the young ones too. We are inspiring them and setting the path so that even before they grow up like your older brothers and sisters, they are already inspired and educated towards finding their purpose. The next person that I have right here with me by my left is one big intellectual. One man whom, as John the Baptist said, if I want to introduce him, I cannot untie his shoelace. The same allusion I will use for him. He is a man who has traveled around the globe. He has visited so many countries, and he is an ingenious person who is very gifted in the spheres of mathematical calculation. When they say X, find X and find Y, he is a person for that. He's a professor of mathematics at Anderson University, USA, a global transformative leader. I'm talking about Professor Gilbert Eyabi. Good morning to you, Professor Gilbert.
Good morning, Katie. That was a beautiful introduction. Don't believe everything she said. But it's my honor to be here. It's my honor to be part of this program. Whenever there's an opportunity to talk to people, especially the young people, I always jump right in to see the little contribution I can make to make someone's life a little better. Thank you.
We feel honored that you came to Cameroon, and one of the few things you could think to do amongst your busy schedule is to honor our program right here, or is to honor our invitation of the program. We are very much grateful to have you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Kari.
All right, let me move back to Mr. Musoke. I know that the issue of empowerment and African empowerment is something that we trash regularly here on the program Excellence Impact, but maybe for the first-time viewer, we are considering that maybe we have a first-time viewer who may not be so acquainted with the issues of empowerment and African empowerment as a whole. So maybe you'd want to throw more light on that and educate our viewers one more time what we mean by empowerment. When we talk about empowerment, what exactly do we mean?
Yeah, permit me to first of all say that the African continent is endowed with a lot of potentials. I wish to say that the African continent is blessed with a lot of resources, especially natural resources. And one person was of recent explaining the fact that Africans are very, very intelligent, and that they are scattered all over the world. They are the ones building most of the systems in the world. Africans are found all over the world. They are found in Europe, they are found in the US, they are found in China, they are in India, and wherever you go to, you will likely meet Africans. It shows you that Africans have the desire to be great. And the interest of this day of today is for African youths in particular to understand that it is possible for them to deconstruct this notion of the fact that they are unempowered, they are unemployed. These some African youths, that they are poor and that they are frustrated. You know, these are notions, these are ideologies that have kept African youths to be bound for so many years. You know, you can be rich but poor in mind. It means that there are some human beings that if you take $1 trillion and give them, they will still not change because of their mindset. So my focus this morning is to let African youths know that their mindset needs to be transformed. When their mindset is transformed, they will understand that it's possible for them to take their destinies into their hands. Your destiny cannot be in the hands of another person. Then you wish that that destiny is going to be a destiny that belongs to you. No, you have to take your destiny into your hands. You have to be able to understand that people don't just succeed because success is given to them. No, you have to take success into your hand before you succeed. So the focus this morning is African youths should have a new mindset. I don't discourage African youths to travel or from traveling. But if you are traveling, it means that you have a mindset that you know that I am traveling at it because there's something which I'm going to get. Then you travel and go and get it. If I'm staying back home, your mindset makes you to understand that you can stay back home and succeed and be empowered back home, and you become an asset even back home in Africa. Okay. So this is what I will likely be talking on today, the mindset of the African youth. The opportunities that are found at home and abroad. We can touch some of them and let African youth understand that there are opportunities back home and there are also opportunities abroad. Thank you.
In other words, the empowerment of the African youth has to start with their mindset. They changing their mindset.
Yes, the mindset first before any other thing can follow. Thank you.
We've had some Pan-Africanist discussions wherein some persons or some Pan-Africanists opine that we've had some imperialistic tendencies which advances that the African youth are not innovative, or that most technological innovations come from the Western world, and why others, as Mr. Musoke Riley said, most persons may want to travel abroad most times because they feel there are better opportunities for persons, for youth out there. And we've also had some Pan-Africanists who say that no Cameroonian or Cameroonian and African youth in general, they do have the potentials to be innovative, and they can also be ingenious with their craft. Now let me pose the question to you, Mr. Gilbert.
Yes.
Oh, Professor Gilbert, rather. Let me not rob you of your title. You have been to several countries like Germany, the US of A, and I'm sure you must have been acquainted with their labor relations, their economic capacities, and all of that. Can we really say that the youth over there are much more innovative and better placed than the youth in Africa?
Thank you for that good question, Kadi. No, I don't think that the youths in the West are more innovative than the youths in Cameroon. As a matter of fact, last week I was at the ICT for Africa conference in Yaoundé, and I gave a couple of presentations throughout all the 4 days, and I was positively impressed with the youths. I actually met youths who are doing a lot of stuff on social media platforms and making money, very innovative. So, no, the Cameroon youths are very innovative, and I would not say that we are backwards in any way. As a matter of fact, just piggybacking on what Mr. Musoke said, African youth are very intellectual. Okay, they are great intellectual. They are very intelligent. I mean to say. And they are great intellectuals. I'll give you an example without going into much detail. Recently, someone moved over to the U.S. and decided to join the U.S. military, and actually drove the person there, took the person to the military place, and they said, well, your age is okay, your height is okay, everything is well, but you need to take a math test. And the math test will determine whether you can go in or not. And they told the person, there is a certain threshold that if you don't cross that threshold, you cannot be part of the U.S. military. And but it's okay. People come here and they get 3 out of 20, 4 out of 20. So if you don't make it, that's fine. You can come back next time and try. They said, okay. So they showed him the room. He went in there, came out, aced the thing. And the people could not believe it. They were stunned.
They were awestruck.
Yeah, they were awestruck. They were like, how did you do that? And it was just natural to him. Those were things, and he is not even a math major. He graduated from UB with, I think, accountancy or some degree. But you see, the level of education that he received while he was at UB was to a point where he beat the American exam, hands down. So I think it's just important for us to know that, to let the African youth know that there is great potential in them. They are innovative. There are opportunities out there, and they probably should take their eyes off of the government for a while and not feel like everybody has to be employed by the government. In fact, the West is making it because they do not look at the government. The government employs a very small fraction of the population. Everyone is trying their best to produce something that make money. As a matter of fact, when we come back, I would like to talk a little bit about this social media platform, because you can actually make money at the comfort of your house just with a cell phone. But we'll talk about that sometime later. So, no, I would not say that the youths in the West are more intelligent or anything like that with respect to the youths back here in Cameroon or in Africa. No, African youths are very intelligent, and I applaud them for that.
So from your story, we can deduce that the undermining of African youth potentials is not only from the Africans themselves, but also from outside personalities like the Western countries.
Yes. It's a little bit sad that at times you have this situation where the West would mine our intellect, and we invest all our insight, we invest all our potentials in the West and move the West forward, and yet our own people and our own area is still lagging behind. But that's something which I think needs to be corrected. We need to get to a place where the African youth can flourish right here in Africa. And like Mr. Mosoke said, it could be here in Africa or it could be in the West. I would not be one of those people who would say, hey, the West is not a good place to come. Don't come here. No. If I have an opportunity, as I actually do all the time, anyone who is interested in studying abroad, I would give them all the pointers. And many people have traveled and studied abroad. But at the same time, I think you can still make it and make it here perfectly well.
All right, you can still make it and make it here perfectly well. And we are working towards getting the youth empowered. That is why we have this program right here on High Television Excellence Impact. We come here every time to preach these messages to you, because it's one step towards achieving this empowerment. Mr. Mosoke, we are talking about demystifying the ideology that the African youth are not empowered. You have said that Africa and Cameroon in particular, and Africa in general, has lots of potential, be it natural resources that make us to be very rich. And Professor, on the other hand, has also concurred and agreed with you that African youths are innovative, they're smart, and they have the potentials. But then again, if we do a comparative analysis between the youths in the Western world and youths here in Africa, there seems to be maybe some kind of growth over there than here. Why is this potential? Why are the potentials of the Africans not so visible, and why are their impacts not so felt?
Yeah, in most of my seminars that I hold here in Boya, I always tell youth, and I always make this comment to the youths. I say, assume that the West is not existing. Assume that the US is not existing. And you are here in Africa, what are you going to do? You see, so that they should think that they should understand that it's possible for them to make it. Assume that the West does not exist. Assume that the US is not existing. And you are here in Africa. Won't you go to work and make sure that you do something that is going to make sense?
For yourself.
Must you always think that there exists a place somewhere when you are already in the place? Then I always tell youths this, and I tell them that for them to succeed as youths and African youths, they should be able to succeed in Africa. I gave a simple analogy. I say, a youth in Africa that is making 1 million francs a month, and you are here in Cameroon, and somebody who is making, say, 5 million francs in the US, I told those youths that you might be better than that person who is making 5 in Cameroon, making 1 million. But I told them that there are existing platforms, gadgets, and systems today that can make you sit in Cameroon and make 10 million francs a month digitally. And I quoted an example of a young lady, I may not disclose her name, who is making 40 million francs a month, who graduated from the University of Buea using digital platforms. And I've encouraged her so many times. I said, go ahead. Because she said, I followed your programs online, I follow your TV programs, and it pushed me to go to work. And today, she told me, I'm working at least 14 minutes for month, and I've been able to employ 2 other youths who are working with me, and I pay them 500,000 francs at least a month. Now, this might seem not to be true, but it's true. It's happening here in Buea. And there are many more youths that are making far more than that here in Buea. Just because, why? They sat down and they said, no, I don't want to think that they resist any West or any US. But these people have put in place structures, systems that I can exploit, like the internet and so on. And they have gone digital and they are making it. And that's why I encourage so many youths. You can go digital. ICTs are booming today. The digital world is moving forward. Why not engage in the digital world and come out of this spirit of complaining and grumbling and murmuring and making noise? The government has not employed me. The internet can employ everybody. I told you that the internet has potential. You can study something online and sit at the comfort of your home and make money. This is real. Some of them might be hearing it for the first time, that there's a young lady who's making at least 40 million francs a month. I cannot disclose a name for the sake for the reasons of confidentiality. But it's true. And there are many other young guys that are making it today. They finish for the University of Buea, they turn around, there's nothing. They say, no, Grant, we have been encouraged by your encouragement, and we have launched out. And today, we are making it. We can at least rent a house, and we are living, and some of them are married now, and they are living their lives. So it's a matter of what they call adapting to the realities. It's a matter of repositioning yourself. When things are not working in another angle, check another angle that is working. The digital, it is working. And why can't youths exploit it? And I've told them, no matter your profession, no matter your career, still engage in digital activities together with your profession or career. It's not something that will make you to leave your profession, leave your career. No, you can put it as an addition, and it may give you more money, far more than
media. But please, Mr. Musoke, you just give me the number of that lady here. I need to keep contact. 14 million a month.
Content creators, yes. Again, like we said, I met a couple of them at the ICT conference, content creators, which is really good. I wish I had time to talk about content creation, because TikTok and the rest is not just for you to put it on and do the dance and and put it there, watch and laugh. No, you could actually look at an area that you think is is needed in Africa and start producing content for that particular area, little by little, and before you know it, you've become a sensation. You see, even the US would start watching everybody, and you go viral, and that's it, and you make a lot of money. It's okay that the government needs money. Okay, that's the truth. The government needs money to run. But I would say, when they are taxing these youths that we're trying to encourage to optimize their potential, the level of taxation levied on these youths should be in consideration of the fact that we are trying to encourage them, and not something that would get them out of to the back of the car instead of being at the driver's seat.
Thank you very much, Professor Gilbert. And of course, as he rightly says, we're trying to encourage an entrepreneurial spirit within the youth. And if the government could put in policies which would they would earn their income from, or they earn their revenue from the taxes, at the same time still encourage the youth, where there's some kind of a balance.
Yeah.
But we don't have this balance yet in Africa, arguably so. And evident in some of the frustrations that the youth have expressed, be it on social media, you see the youth are constantly antagonizing the government and government policies. We have youths in Kenya who have just protested. I think in the previous years we had those in Ghana who also protested against high prices of goods and services and how it's affecting their entrepreneurial endeavors.
Taxing, no. There are some situations where you can apply